Good morning. It is the build day, and God has blessed us with some snow. And keep in mind, this is why we are building these tiny homes, because I can guarantee you when we go down to Chattanooga this morning, we will see collapsed tents and cold, frozen people. Not hopefully dead or anything, but basically, this is common sense and it's the right thing to do. We got people in the city on the government side who seem to think this is a terrible idea. Well, I don't see any of them out there sleeping on the ground in this condition. So for me, I know this is the right thing to do. I'm putting my butt on the line, but guess what? It's the right thing to do. Here's my tiny house in the snow out here in the woods. Brett, our veteran, he's over there, on the other side of the property. He's chilling. We got to go to work this morning. I got to pick him up. This is a legitimate tiny house. What we're building down there are temporary emergency shelters. And that's what we want to focus on, because in the game of politics, people want to change the definitions of words so that their message looks good or their actions look less bad. I'm not in the game of politics, I'm in the business of people. And I put people before policies, and especially before politics. And politicians, well, they do their best, but sometimes they end up causing more problems than they solve and don't ever really understand the problem because they've never been down there. I've never seen anyone from the city down there helping, advising, observing, questioning, seeking any kind of information to help people whatsoever, other than a few news articles which periodically show up every few months as a public pacifier press release. They're saying that they're doing all this stuff for homelessness, but when you go down there, they're not doing anything, and the problem is growing daily. Even over the past month, past 2 months, it's growing. If you don't understand why a little box with some walls on it is better than a tent, it's March, people. We're in Tennessee, but guess what? We got 4 inches of snow this morning, and it's cold. So if you're cold and wet, you're going to get hypothermic. If you got nowhere to go to get warm, you're in trouble. So I don't know how to make sense of that to people who don't seem to care. And if they care, well, it's not enough. It's not quick enough. All right? We got 300 some homeless people out there. 300 people out in this right now in Chattanooga, at least. And then what? What are we going to do? Just leave them out there? Wait for another 6 months for them to prove anything? And come persecute me and my team and all the people who are helping to make this possible? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. These men didn't die so that, we just leave people in the streets. I didn't serve my country so that I'd come home to find 350 people eating out of the garbage can and crapping in the bushes because they've got not even a toilet. Becoming dehydrated in the summer, dying of heat exhaustion. There's an old black lady down there who's getting a wheelchair. She's probably 60-something, maybe 70. She can only move like 1 foot. She's out there sleeping on a dock. They're leaving her out there. An elderly, disabled black woman is in a wheelchair right now in Chattanooga, out in the cold. How is that progress? How is that the fierce sense of urgency? It's not. It's a lack of compassion, it's a lack of care, and it's a lack of action. We're getting our butts to work. When do you want it done? Yesterday. I was in the military. You want me to jump? How high, sir? God's telling me to do this. I'm like, what do you want, God? I'll do it. We're doing it as best we can. It's not perfect, but guess what? It's done. If they would help us, we'd be a lot better off. We started off this venture with negative $76 in the bank. You understand that? Negative $76. I've been working since June to get any kind of help. I argue with Sam Wolf, the homeless coordinator, for 20 plus minutes at Mission Barbecue to even get a porta potty. They said they didn't have enough money for a porta potty. That's like $40 a month. I offered to put it on my credit card. but where would I put it? Because it's not my land. So we get into these circular arguments with no action. This is since June. We had a Navy female veteran die under a bridge in Chattanooga. Took him 2 months to even get her buried. And of course, the politicians fly in, take the microphone and say it's all a tragedy. But yet, this is in July, okay? And here we are with even more people. Not one tiny home, not one structure from the city with respect to like homeless people in terms of, a temporary emergency shelter because it's cold, it's wet, and it's winter. It makes sense to be inside. So I don't think we'll see Mayor Kelly out there today standing on the sidewalk with 4 inches of snow on his head. He's probably in his big house somewhere up on a mountain. The same with a lot of other people in the city, They don't know what it's like to be cold. My hand's getting cold. I gotta go get my coffee, hook this truck up, load up a bunch of pallets, and drive 80 miles this morning and be there by 10 o'clock. So that's what we're gonna do. I hope to see you there. Like and share this message. We love you. Appreciate you supporting the mission. The building part is not hard at all. It's incredibly easy. The hard part is actually getting people to care and getting them to do something. And I guess at this point, getting out of the way is going to be the hard part. But, up in Wisconsin, where I'm from, this ain't nothing but a light dusting. We wouldn't even get the snow plows out. So, we don't worry about stuff like this. This ain't nothing. We take care of our people up there. Down here, I don't know. People freak out like it's Armageddon. It's snow, people. All right, it's snow. It's fine. It's cold, it's wet, but guess what? We'll be just fine. So I'm gonna put her in 4-wheel drive and hammer down. I'll see you out there. Josh out. We're down here off of 11th Street. This is the other encampment we were told we couldn't build at. So, this is what it looks like when nobody helps out. This is what it looks like in the winter when it snows. This is what it looks like when people are cold. They're hunkered down in there. There's a tent. There's somebody in there. There's water all around. You can see that one just about collapsed in there. If it wasn't frozen, it probably would fall apart. So, here by the wellness center here, we made it, the Blazer. We're gonna go down to where we're building. It's cold out here. It's like windy and cold, so I'm cold. I'm gonna get to work so I can warm up. So, just gonna do a little video here. We're right by the community kitchen. We got the police department right across the street, and then this is the community kitchen where people get food. It's a warm weather shelter. That guy got pants. These are the tents that have been piled up over here, or allowed to pile up, I guess. The city is not doing anything about this, but they're giving me a hard time about building little structures. So I don't understand that mentality, but I mean, a waterlogged frozen tent is not camping. People don't come downtown to camp in a tent. These people are surviving, fighting for their lives on a daily basis, and we're simply trying to give them some temporary emergency shelter before they freeze to death, because it is cold, it's winter. We've been waiting 10 months, so we're trying to figure out basically how we can work with, I guess, the people who have the authority and resources to do something rather than nothing. We got a 15-mile-an-hour wind blowing snow off that roof. I don't know if you can see or not, but it's definitely cold. And my goal today, or I guess with this whole project, is to put people in the shoes of these people. That tent blew down. It was standing up yesterday. I think there's somebody in there. I'm not sure. This is why tents don't work. Watch. Look at that thing. Is that the best we can do, Chattanooga? Is that the best we can do, America? These are American citizens. All right. I got two veterans down here. Those people are cold, man. You can see it on their face. You can see it. I mean, we got snow blowing out here. And at least if you look at our little structures, you can see that, you know, they're not perfect, but guess what? They sure hold up to the elements a lot better. And one thing you can tell about insulation value, if you look on that roof, you can see there's snow piled up. And the snow's not melting, so you know it means it's holding water, it's keeping the elements out, and these people are safe. So here we are, getting ready to build. We got people coming out here today, quite a few. It's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be cold and kind of miserable, but you know, I don't have any gloves. Wish I did. And then you look at our space over here. We don't see collapsing tents. I'm not, you know, worried about these people. It's obviously cold and they don't have heaters, but this little building here is a temporary emergency shelter that is movable. It's suitable for human habitation on a temporary emergency basis. We're not sitting here saying we're building Taj Mahals here. We're building what we can as fast as we can with what we've got to save human lives. That's it. You know, we're not sugarcoating nothing. This isn't some political endeavor. We're doing what's right for the people. So help us in that mission any way you can. Honor these men by being a person worth dying for. Don't take no for an answer. And don't stop until we're done. So we'll figure this out together. Appreciate your support. We'll get this video put together and get this gate unlocked so our people can be over here instead of off to the side and sitting in tents. So thanks for your support. Josh out. So some of you might wonder what it takes to build a tiny house in 2 hours for $100. Let me show you here. A hammer, a drill, a tape measure, and some screws and nails. And I got a chainsaw to cut out here since we don't have any power. And if you want to get fancy, you can make sure it's square and level, but you know, we're not quite there yet because we're working on level ground. We wanted to build like right here, but it's very angled. So by the time they move them over there, we didn't want it to be not square or level. So, and all you need is a truck. All that stuff fits in my back seat. I've got a little trailer here. You can see all the snow and ice, but it's cold out here this morning. And then we got about 30 sheets of plywood, all donated for free, and a little ladder. So this is where we're gonna build, right here. I've already marked it out real sophisticated like with my foot. We're giving each home a certain distance off the road, close to that fence, and then privacy between the two. So we're gonna put 2 here until, you know, the city can figure out what they're doing, and they can move them, do whatever they want with them. I don't care. I mean, this is about keeping people out of the elements. I'm freezing out here myself, so I don't know how these people do it. We're not going to leave them behind. We're not going to forget about them. We're not going to sit and go through meetings and have RFPs and proposals and back and forth meetings and everything else and wait another 6 months. It's not happening. That's why we're out here. We're not trying to, you know, piss anybody off or anything like that. We're saving lives. You know what I'm saying? We got people over here. They're my friends. I'm not going to let them die out here in the cold or suffer more than they have to. These are American citizens in Chattanooga, and they deserve something better than nothing. So this is what the city's done. It's taken them, I don't know, 5 months to figure out how to paint some lines, and created a whole new problem for the summer. It's going to be incredibly hot out here. We spoke to our residents over there. They said they will not move over here because it's going to be incredibly hot. A tent on blacktop in the south in the city is not camping. That is, you know, suffering at best. We can do better. We can do a lot better. I'm not saying the city doesn't have good ideas. I'm not saying they don't have plans in the works. I'm just saying that, you know, their pace of progress is equivalent to a snail riding a sloth, and the snail's telling the sloth to slow down. And we're not quite on that same speed. But I guess after 10 months of waiting, my patience is kind of used up. So here we are. We're gonna get to building. About half an hour. We're gonna have our whole team out here, getting the materials staged, wood, everything. It's gonna go really quick. I think despite the 28, 30-degree weather, we're gonna set a new record. So stay tuned. We'll be out here and we'll go from there. Thank you for your support and your love. We're getting it done. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey you guys, Megan Godfrey here. I'm out here with Josh Capellis and a bunch of our friends. We're building 2 tiny homes today. We've got Mission Barbecue out here as well, and it's a snow day, so we're out here freezing for these people, and it helps boost morale. You know, they see us out here working for them, and they know they're loved, and that's the point. That's what we're doing this for. I hope you guys are having a good day. We are.
That's what it's all about. And we are done. Thank you. Thank you, God.